Welcome to the Moon Men podcast.
Does the moon actually possess such strange powers?
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Moonlight is thought to transform some people into strange creatures to drive others mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly glad to be here tonight.
We choose to go to the moon.
5, 4,
We choose to go to the moon.
2, 1, 0.
Scrolling down the high. Did I say strolling down the highway?
Strolling, yeah. You know, I kind of like this, that you're sitting down and I'm standing up.
So you can look down on me?
I still look down on you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Our torsos are pretty much the same size.
Yeah, but my dick is bigger.
What is this? Now you look like you're doing a stand-up comedy.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm not laughing.
I'm taking a page out of Pat McAfee's book.
So, what is your favorite promo pic of ours that we've ever taken? With the guest or without a guest?
Well, I'll do one.
Because I was looking at them, and I think I know what my favorite is.
I'll do one and one. My favorite one from us is the most recent one with the return.
I think my favorite one with us is probably that one too. Just because we both look really good in that, and I look really nice in that one.
Right.
But my favorite promo pic that we've taken without anybody, with somebody, has got. You said you wanted to stand up.
I'm just leaning. I didn't know what to do with my hands.
Okay. This looks weird. Eddie's standing up while we record this episode.
It's experimental.
And I'm sitting down, so the vibes might be weird. Because now we're not on the same wavelength. His wavelength is higher than mine, so we're just gonna have to see. My favorite one that we've ever taken with a guest has got to be Juan's, I think.
Oh, we're kneeling down?
Juan's or Bork's pictures. The second one we took with Bork, where he's doing the Great Gatsby face.
My lock screen?
Your lock screen? I love that one. But I also love the one we did with Juan, where you're like punching the camera and then I'm like kicking the camera and Juan's like staring at you.
Right.
That one looks hard. Like that could be an album cover.
I like Bork's, the one where he looks like the Great Gatsby, and then I also like Carlos.
Carlos was cool because we were just like, we were all vibe. I did also like Rob's second one.
Where he's holding the chancla?
Where he's holding the chancla. But personally...
Sandal for those non-Spanish speakers.
Yeah, sandal if you're white.
Yeah.
Personally, though, I think it might have to be Juan's just because it's the most creative one we've ever done.
And he came up with it. We didn't.
Yeah, he's all, here, put the camera on the floor like this, and he angled it, and then we were like, I was like, that looks pretty sick. Like, we never did a picture like that. All the rest of them were like, okay, say cheese.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take the picture.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think when we do
bring
the guest back on.
I also like Angels.
Angels was nice, but I didn't like the picture because the way we took it, the sun was like making the whole thing look blurry.
Let me look at the Instagram. Introduce the show. Whoa.
Okay. Welcome back to the Moon Man podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Devin. That's your co-host, Eddie. And the vibes are weird today.
You're making it weird. Also like Matt's.
The second one?
Yeah.
It was cool, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like a generic picture that we always take, you know? You're just holding a chair.
Yeah?
That's a nice picture, I'll admit. That one with me and her is a nice one. The gachora in the background is probably going to mess it up, though. I don't know.
The what?
The fucking gachora and the lizard. In the fucking picture. What, you're like, is there a lizard in here? Your eyes, you got all wide. I was like... I was like,
pointing
I was
me.
pointing towards your phone. The lizard in the picture, I feel like ruins the shot, but it also kind of adds something to the shot. I don't know. I think it's a nice picture though.
It's a cute picture.
The one with us and Raul is a good one too, but
that was okay. Yeah,
I like the one where we're holding them. I just wish that I was like looking at the camera a little bit more because it looks like I'm doing like a side look, and I don't like it that much. But you do see my bicep vein, which is cool. All of this is just promo to get people to go look at the Instagram and follow it. If you're not following our Instagram, go follow it. It's the Movement Podcast.
Whoa, here it is.
Are you looking for my bicep vein?
Oh yeah. Let me see. It's a little cutie.
It's a little cutie. It's still popping out. It looks better now, but I have to cut down just a little bit more for you to see it. Like
I like this one.
that. That's a good one, but that was just a picture that we took at nightfall.
I still remember that night where I fucking meep out of there.
Yeah, you didn't go into a single house.
No, where that dude fucking chased me with the chainsaw.
Oh, what
You
was
remember that?
Skittles?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Oh yeah.
his name was Skittles.
Yeah, it was a clown with the chainsaw.
Yeah. For those of you confused, me and Eddie went to this attraction here in town called Nightfall. You locals know it. It's like a haunted town. And we knew somebody who was working there that year, and she got one of the actors dressed up as a clown to chase Eddie because Eddie doesn't like clowns. Do you still not like clowns?
No, I love him.
What?
Yeah, I watch clown.
No, but like back in the day, you used to be scared
Oh yeah,
of
I
clowns.
used to be scared of him. Yeah, but that's before I killed one. Hold on, I need to time.
What do you mean before you killed one?
I beat up that pussy. Oh, I thought I thought I was gonna get a bigger reaction. No, I know. I just got over it.
You just stopped getting scared.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember it used to freak you out, and so I would try to like send you clown pictures, and then I think you were
Don't say
sending
it
me
like
pictures
that.
of The Exorcist.
Don't say it like that.
What?
You
Clown
send me
pictures?
clown pictures.
Why? That doesn't sound bad.
It sounds like not Morse code. It sounds like very sexual.
Wait, me and Bork were talking last night, and I got a quote, and I want you to tell me if this is hard because I was sending it to him, and I
Right.
thought it was a pretty good quote.
Right. My room's pretty small.
When anyone can conquer the fortress, it is not a victory when you lay siege.
When anyone can conquer the fortress. What was the last part?
It's not a victory when you lay siege.
What does siege mean?
Like when you attack the fortress.
Yeah, it's alright.
No, I thought it was pretty good. 'Cause
Where'd you get that from? Star Wars?
no, what Star Wars? That's like knights and shit.
Oh.
We were talking about some shit, some hoes, and then he was I sent him that quote, and I was like, I just came up with it on the fly, and then afterwards I was all king speech.
Can you remind Bork to open my fucking Snapchat?
I wish I could, but the fucker does it to me too. He waits until like 9:30 at night, right before our streak's about to die, and then that's when he opens a snap.
Yeah, but for me it's been like 22 weeks.
Oh wait, what? You sent him a snap? Do you guys have a streak or what?
No, we don't. And Ais too. It's been 7 weeks for her.
Yeah.
Bork,
well,
15 weeks. And all I told him was, I don't even know what I told him.
Good luck getting Anais to open it, because now that she knows that you're waiting on her to open it, she's never gonna open it. That's what she does. Why don't you try fucking around, messaging her again, and then see if it gets her to open it on accident?
That could work too, but then that's gonna open a conversation.
Just be like, I just wanted you to open the message, and then leave it.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Just so that you don't have to hold that L anymore, because your arms are getting tired.
The what?
Your arms are getting tired from holding that L, just being left undelivered for 7 weeks.
Oh no, I just passed it on to you.
Damn.
That reminds me, what's worse, being left on red or being left unseen? I can't do this. I'm gonna sit down.
Isn't that the same thing?
No, being left on red. I mean, being left on red or being left undelivered. That's what I meant.
Red. Because they saw it. Delivered, they can make the excuse.
Yeah, but they can't make the excuse after 15 weeks. Or even 2 days.
Yeah, but I feel like red is worse because they saw it, they interacted with it, and then they chose not to engage with you.
Yeah.
I
I was talking to one of my friends about it, and she said that being left on seen is worse. But I say being left undelivered is worse.
They're both bad, but I would prefer to be left undelivered because I could lie to myself, and then they could lie to me, and I'm able to live with it a little bit better.
Hold on, let me fix this fucking mic. Like that? Is that better?
Yeah, that works fine. That looks good.
What the fuck is going on, Devin?
So this is probably the wrong time to bring this up because I know I'm going to have to bleep a lot of this out, but I'm curious. Do you still think that is the love of my life?
At this point, I don't fucking know.
Well, back then you were sure. Back then you were like, I have it all figured out, Devin. Back then you were like, trust me, right person, wrong time, this and that. Soulmates, this and that.
Maybe. If you guys should do like a promise. If you guys are both single by the age 30, then you guys have to get together.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. It's fun. It's quirky.
It's quirky.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that I would want to do. Because, like, what if... I don't know. Either of us could be in any situation at that point. You know?
Yeah, but if...
I could be like a millionaire and then I have to settle down with this person. You know, like I had the pick of the crop. I just haven't like settled down yet.
Wait, hold on. Is this what you wanted to bring up to me?
What?
That something that's going... The thing that's big that we haven't talked about?
No. This isn't big.
The wind's probably going to pick up.
I don't think so. This isn't big. This isn't like newsworthy. It's just she's been brought up recently. So
right. I think you asked me that already too.
I know I asked you shortly after everything went down.
I think it happened. I think you asked me on Saturday.
Saturday? When? When we were in Discord?
Yeah. Or it was it was Saturday when I came back from the party.
Was I drunk at that point?
Yes.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I don't remember our conversations when I'm drunk. I remember a little bit, like here and there, but for the most part, it's whoop.
Yeah,
right
yeah. That's why I'm going on Discord when you're drunk.
It's just a vibe, you know. We were vibing. Saturday, I'm pretty sure, is when I was texting what's her face on Snapchat, and then you were texting that person.
No.
Yeah, you guys were texting at that time because then you were telling me what she was saying.
No.
Right? Or was that Friday?
That was Friday, I think.
I don't remember. I remember we were both having our own conversations, and then we were talking, and then we were like bullshitting, and then we stayed up till like 12.
I knew. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Friday. Yeah. I don't remember asking about her on Friday.
Who? No, you were telling me how. Fuck, I don't even know if I should say it because
I'm gonna bleep some of this out so that they can't pick up on it. But
I know you were complaining that you guys on the phone.
You should have said that.
That's what I said.
I didn't know that's what you were gonna say. Yeah. Well, it's just because that's what happens a lot of times. Like we'll talk for a long time, but sometimes like she just takes over the conversation. You know. Sometimes, very, very rarely, I can do it, but most of the time it's her. You know how it is.
I do know how it is.
But yeah. So you don't stand by that opinion anymore, huh?
No. Just because of certain events and you getting someone pregnant. So
me. What are you talking about? Don't tell them that. People are actually. I'm gonna have like 4 people call me tonight and be like, "Who'd you get pregnant?" I didn't get no one pregnant.
Yeah.
We're still cruising. We're still good.
In the 6'4".
We're cruising down this. We're
cruising down the street in your 6'4".
In my 6'4".
Yeah.
And you know that actually, that makes me mad that you just quoted that because I sent you like what 5 classic hip hop songs, 4 classic hip hop songs today, and you disliked all of them.
No.
Except Tupac.
Except one, yeah.
I sent Eddie 4 classic songs today from hip hop, and he disliked all of them, which just.
Dude, I never liked the sound of that hip hop. I never liked the hip hop sound from the late 90s, early 2000s, and the late 2010s. What?
Nothing. I'm trying to process that information. It's just it's whatever. The big thing that I wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. When is it? July 21st?
Yeah. Is it July or June? I think it's July.
I think it is July, but July 17th, I think.
17th?
Yeah.
I thought it was the 20th.
Because Deadpool 3 comes out on the 26th.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm excited to watch the fight. And do you still want to do a reaction for the show?
We can. We could put it up there.
We could watch it here because it'll be on Netflix, so we don't have to buy it.
Yeah. Well, maybe knowing Netflix, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you have to pay an extra $10."
Maybe an extra 10. That's how much we paid for the Logan Paul fight way back when.
Oh, that brought back so many memories.
Fun fact: me and Eddie watched the first YouTube boxing event ever together live
Yeah.
at my house.
We had to wake up at like 9 a.m. to watch it because it was taking place in the UK.
Yeah, so it was premiering like around 11. Like that's when the main fight started,
Yeah.
and me and him got really hyped over it.
And it was a fucking tie.
It was a tie. That pissed me off. I think
who-
Logan should have taken that one.
I was going for Logan. You were going for KSI.
No, I was going for Logan because I didn't know KSI at the time.
Yeah, you did.
I knew of him, but I didn't know him. I didn't like him. I still don't really know him, or I don't watch his content.
Neither do I. I only watch Sidemen.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. What the fuck is Sidemen?
Sidemen is like FaZe. Like, it's their own group.
And he's part of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't own it?
I don't think so.
Somebody told me he owned it, so I thought he owned
He's
it.
probably like part owner, but I think they all own it. Like, they all have their own individual ownership.
Yeah, I heard his content sucks, but the stuff that he does with that group doesn't.
Yeah, it's their videos are funny. But how did we get on this? Oh yeah, the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Prediction right now, I think Mike's gonna take it.
Isn't it an exhibition match?
It's an exhibition match, yeah, because they couldn't get it cleared to be a professional bout.
So there's no winners.
No, but like they're ranking and scoring and stuff. Like it's just not going to be on their official records.
Oh,
But both
okay,
of them,
okay.
from what I understand, both of them were advocating to get it on their official records,
Mm-hmm.
and the state commission wasn't allowing it. It could change and it could turn into a professional match, but it is going to be quote unquote an exhibition.
Oh,
And then I heard a lot of like rumors about like these clauses and things that each fighter can and can't do. And I double checked all of it, and so far almost all of it seems to be debunked. So it's just a pure fight. And I'm excited to see it. I know I shouldn't be, but I am, because I really want to see Mike Tyson beat the shit out of Jake Paul.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I feel like Jake Paul is gonna be hugging him the whole time, cause that's what Logan did.
With Floyd.
Yeah.
But Floyd is like a counter puncher. He's like a defensive boxer. He waits for opportunities. He's not really aggressive.
Oh, okay.
Mike is Mike. Mike is aggressive. Mike's going to get in there and he's going to be trying to kill Jake. And I'm excited because I understand how he looks at fights and how he prepares, right? Because he had a fight, 2 years ago?
Yeah, with
Was it Roy Jones?
Yeah, it was.
It was Roy Jones, right?
Yeah.
He had a fight with him, and it was all right. I watched the highlights of it afterwards. Whatever. To me, that wasn't an exciting fight. This one seems more exciting because Jake Paul has all the characteristics of being like a classic Mike Tyson villain, you know,
Mm-hmm.
while also kind of being the underdog, and it just makes the whole thing interesting. And what I mean when I say like I know how Mike looks at these fights is like he's preparing, he's scared. He prepares out of fear, right? Every single fight he's ever had, he always admitted that he was scared of the fighter. And then that's what made him train harder, work harder, go the extra mile. And he was scared all the way up until the night of the fight. And then the fear would kind of disappear, and then he would get this overwhelming confidence, right? So I can imagine him agreeing to this fight, knowing his reputation is on the line, knowing that he's old and retired, knowing that most rational people would be like, oh, Mike's going to get knocked out, and then over preparing for that.
I don't think there's gonna be a knockout. I don't even think it's gonna be hardcore.
It's Mike fucking Tyson.
So
There's going to be a knockout. I think I can't wait, honestly, because Jake Paul has proven himself to some extent. I know people criticize his career, but he's beaten people he shouldn't have beaten with experience that not carrying him.
The only person that was credible was Tommy Fury, and he won. Tommy Fury won.
Yeah, but it was a good bout back and forth.
I didn't watch it, but I still don't take Jake Paul serious.
I can't really take him serious the way I take I was
Ryan
gonna say
Garcia.
Ryan. Well, I was gonna say Ryan Garcia, but it's hard to take him serious too. But like you could tell they're in two different worlds, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, this is like a good example of like how far Jake has come. Because I wouldn't step in a ring with Mike Tyson, especially a Mike Tyson that's been training for 8 months to kill me. Because that's the thing you got to remember too. Like, he might be old, he might be retired, but it's still Iron Mike Tyson.
But have you seen that fight from 2 years ago?
That was a terrible fight.
That was him.
But have you seen the footage that he's been pumping out almost daily about him training?
He was pumping out the same type of videos before that fight.
But this is different. He's going up against a younger fighter who's more fit than him, who has quote-unquote knockout power, who has a loud mouth on him. He's going to train harder than he did for Roy Jones Jr. I know he has to train harder. He's going to be putting in more work. And there's videos of like his physique and him training, and he seems scary. Like, honestly, I know we talked about this before on Discord, but would you step into a ring with I don't know how old he is, what, 64-ish?
Yeah, he's like in his 60s.
A 60-year-old Mike Tyson who has been training 8 to 9 months to kill you?
Yeah, I still would.
You still would?
Mm-hmm.
Are you stupid?
Young Mike Tyson, no, definitely not. Like 40 and under, 50 and under, I wouldn't do it.
I still think he has the capability.
He's not as quick as he used to be.
He's not as quick as he used to be, but he's still quicker than 90% of most people.
No,
I wouldn't do it.
No, you're giving him. It's Mike Tyson, yes, but you're giving him too much credit now.
I still think he has the capabilities within him, and the only reason I say that is because, again, he has an opponent who's gonna bring out the best in him.
But like, let's say he gets knocked out first round. Are you still gonna get in the ring with Mike Tyson?
No.
Really?
Yeah, because one, Drake's been training in boxing for a handful of years now, and he's shown himself to be a somewhat capable fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he does manage to do that, it's just because of where he's at with his experience, with his training, with his dedication, whatever. Even if it is an old Mike Tyson, you know. If I stepped in the ring, even if I trained for 5 months and I got in the ring with Mike Tyson, I would still be scared of him.
Fine. Let's say you have 2 years to prepare. Every day you train. Would you still get in the ring with him? Because when you ask me, why get in the ring with Mike Tyson? In my mind, I'm already training for 1 year.
Even still, because I've sparred before at boxing. I've fought people. You know, I understand what it feels like to get punched by someone who's inexperienced and someone who's experienced,
right? And
somebody that's got decades of experience and knockout power. I mean, come on. I don't care if he's 60 whatever years old. It's Mike fucking Tyson, and he's been training, and he's ready to kill, and he's got something to prove.
No, he has nothing to prove.
He has something to prove because he agreed to the fight. If he gets into the fight and gets knocked out, it's going to tarnish his legacy, and he knows that.
No, people wouldn't.
They're not going to be like, oh, Mike wasn't as good as we thought he was. But nobody wants to see an outcome where Mike gets knocked out by Jake, right? Nobody wants to see that. Mike especially doesn't want to see that. Mike doesn't want to have to live with the fact that he's getting knocked out by a young-ass Jake Paul. Like
I said, there's going to be no knockouts. There's not going to be not even action. It's just going to be them running around the ring, them punching stuff a little, and then they're going to hug.
Nah, I think it's going to...
Because if it's an exhibition match that's not going to get on the records, there's no point. They're just in it for the money at that point. Just like the Floyd and Logan fight, that was a boring-ass fight. And it was because it was an exhibition match, and there was no stipulation. If there was a stipulation, then I could see the argument saying that Mike Tyson's going to come at him. But there isn't an outcome where I see them taking it super serious.
He has fighter's pride at the end of the day. So even if there's no drawbacks for him like losing or not going as hard, at least with this match and all the hype that's being built around it, I don't see him just cruising through the entire fight. especially if the allegations are true and Jake was mentioning, his deceased daughter in interviews.
I don't think that's true.
I forgot to double check and see if he was, but
Right.
if those allegations are true and he was talking about his deceased daughter, he's already crossed the line.
No, Jake's an asshole, but he knows his limits.
I don't know if he's trying to sell a fight like that.
You know what's funny? You're the only person talking about this fight. It doesn't even show up on my TikTok. I completely forgot about the fight.
It gets brought up in my feed sometimes.
Well, it's because you interact with that. I think that's why.
Well, yeah, but I get fight content from the boxing community and boxing YouTube or whatever, and then that will pop up sometimes, and then I'll get little updates on it. But there's no big press conferences going on right now, so nobody's going to be talking about it.
It's too far out, that's why.
Like the Tank fight that's taking place in July, nobody's really talking about it.
The
But
who?
that should be it. Gervonta Davis. He has a big fight in July. I won't go into the details, but he's fighting somebody with very similar stats and like knockout power that's very similar to his, and who's like hungry and ready to like kill people. He just doesn't have as much experience as him.
One opponent that I would like to see Jake Paul box is Canelo Alvarez.
I feel like Canelo would murder him.
Oh yeah, I think that's why every time Jake pokes the bear, he just doesn't care.
I don't think Canelo's still in it to prove something. That's why he moved all the way up to heavyweight.
Oh.
He's been cruising through the weight divisions, just becoming the champion for every division and moving up. I think he started at middleweight, then he moved up to welterweight, and then super lightweight or super light heavyweight, and now he's in the heavyweight, and he's gotten the belt every single time. And now he's in the heavyweights. He was like, 5'8", and he's conquering people almost twice his size. Like, I don't think he has anything to prove by taking a fight with Jake, and he's not really in it for the money. He's more in it for the reputation, and the legacy.
He's a real boxer.
He's a real boxer. Yeah, so I don't think he has anything to prove by fighting Jake. But it would be an interesting match. I think Jake would get mauled. I think the experience.
What's Jake's
difference.
record, like 6-1?
No, it's 9-1. 8-1.
9-1.
9-1.
Yeah.
And then Canelo's got like triple the amount of fights as that. I think his total record's like 60 something, right?
Yeah. He's 60-4.
60-4, yeah. So I don't see a reality where Jake could get into a ring with Canelo and then make it out alive.
Yeah, no.
Even with Mike's 58-6, something like that. Very similar to where Canelo is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he hasn't been boxing, the last 20 years, like he still understands it. He's still been keeping up with it. He still got the muscle memory for it. And he's still got that beast in him that wants to hurt people,
Yeah, but at some point every boxer, every fighter, every competitor knows when to stop. And I think at this point Mike is just doing it for the money.
I think to me it's a lot like Rocky 6, which is just Rocky Balboa.
Right.
When he retired initially in the 90s, it's because he knew he didn't have it in him anymore, and he even said it in his interview.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's taken all this time off, right? And he's self-reflected, and he's gone through all these challenges in life. And he even said on his podcast that he feels like a bitch a lot of times because he doesn't fight anymore, and he has to like hold himself back from like being the guy that he used to be, and he doesn't like it. And I think now he's just like wants to prove it to himself one more time. That's the only reason why he's taking these fights. Because Mike is richer than Jake, hands down. He's not getting really anything from this. Yeah, he'll make a couple million. He'll make a cool 10 million off of this or whatever, right? But that's nothing to him. He had his own podcast. He's had his own TV shows. He has his own video games. He's been around.
I thought his health was declining. I thought he had like health problems. He even said it himself.
I forgot what the health problems were. I remember hearing about that, but he's good enough now to be cleared by the state to fight. He's
True.
good enough now to be training every single day.
Where's the fight at?
I think it's in Las Vegas.
Oh.
I have to double check. But to me, it's exciting. I just want to see it happen, And it's not even... I'm not excited to see it just to be like, oh, see, Jake's a great fighter or whatever. I'm just excited to see it because it's like a historical event.
It's not historical.
It's Mike Tyson. It's
So?
Mike Tyson.
So?
You don't understand the legacy. So I'm giving you a pass, but it's Mike fucking Tyson.
No, you're just getting too fucking horny and wet for him.
Dude,
Because
he was a beast.
Was, emphasis on was. I didn't hear this much hype about the Roy Jones fight because people didn't care, and people still don't care. They just know it's, like I said, gonna be like a ring around the rosy type fight, and Mike's gonna want to attack. Jake is gonna back up, and then Jake is gonna attack. They're gonna go at it for like 2 seconds, and then they're gonna go at it for 6 more rounds like that.
I'm not gonna pretend that that's not a likely possibility, but in my head, I'm hoping for an actual fight, because this would be a great chance for Jake to prove that he's with the shits.
No,
if you can get into a cage with the bear and attack the bear, like that proves that you're ready and you're willing to fight. If he's running the whole time, he can't come out of it triumphant.
No.
And the same with Mike.
If Jake Paul takes down Mike Tyson, he's still, to me, not credible enough.
Oh no. Because he doesn't gain anything from knocking him out.
He needs to face somebody like Canelo, like an actual boxer, to prove something. So
well, he has fought quote unquote actual boxers, but they're not like reputable boxers that anyone really
like who
gives a shit about. His last 2 fights were against real boxers that were professionals. But
I thought one of them was an Uber Eats driver.
You can have multiple professions.
No, but I thought they just like.
No, they had a professional record. I just don't think they were actively training before they got offered the fight.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Jake will get scrutinized for it because he's on a way bigger level than any other amateur boxer, versus like when, the up and comers are doing it because no one's paying attention to them. That's how they do it. They maneuver their fights and choose opponents they think they have a good chance of beating, and most of them are people you've never heard of.
But like, why did he choose Ben Askren, Anderson Silva, Nate Robinson, that YouTuber?
I think it was more for the opportunity. One, they were people who had buzz around their names and were associated with fighting, right? 2, he knew that they would take the bag. He knew that they would jump on the opportunity for the money. And then 3, it gives him the chance to sell the fight. Because if he's fighting some random no-namer who has a professional record, nobody's going to care. Just like his last 2 fights, they didn't sell as well because they're no-namer professional boxers who are on the very bottom of the food chain.
But why doesn't he fight someone like Ryan Garcia or who did he fight? Devin Haney?
Devin Haney. That was a good fucking fight. Wait, I'll hold off on that. I think it's just because he's not qualified to challenge them. I don't even know if he's recognized by like the overall boxing committee, and I don't know if he's allowed to like directly challenge them without working his way up the ranks.
Wait, isn't he supposed to fight Nate Diaz too?
I heard they were going to have a rematch, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
Oh.
I'm not going to watch that though. I mean, the first one was kind of lackluster to begin with.
Oh yeah, he beat Nate Diaz, huh?
Yeah.
But it was like a decision, huh?
I think it was a decision.
Because
I didn't watch that fight.
Because I don't remember him knocking him out. If he did, it would have been big news.
Yeah, I don't think he knocked him out. I didn't watch that fight live, though. I kind of watched the highlights after the fact. And I don't know. I think what he's trying to do is build up his record enough so that he can start pitching himself to these bigger mainstream fighters in the boxing world and then be able to start fighting them. Because right now, he's a 9-1-er, right?
Yeah.
And even like the guy that Tank's going up against, what the hell's his name? Frank something. He wouldn't even be able to pitch the fight to him because Frank's 18-0. Gervonta Davis is 30-0.
Excuse me.
Canelo's, what was it? 60-4. Like, he's got to work his way up, and he's got to work his way up the food chain. Because if they were going to put him in professional ranking, where would he land?
So after a certain point, like after 20 wins, that's when you could start.
I don't think it's necessarily 20 wins. I just think he has to. I think what he's doing is he's trying to work his way up the chain a little bit and get enough credibility so that he can start entering the boxing world. Okay. But it could just be a thing where he's like, I like the sport of boxing, but I can't see myself being a full-time professional the way these other guys are.
I think he already said that he wants to be a professional boxer.
I hope he does. That would be cool if he ended up transitioning and then actually going into the boxing ranks and then like dominating or climbing the ranks or not climbing the ranks. I think it'd be cool. Mm. But as of right now, he's just trying to build up his reputation.
You I can't transit. I don't know how to transition it, but did you know all the craziness Ryan Garcia has been putting up was just a publicity stunt?
According to him, I think it's a little hard for me to believe, personally, because a lot of it seemed very genuine. Mm-hmm. A lot of it seemed like he was like on something or talking about something or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna dive into his like Illuminati pedophilia shit, but
why not?
Because it just sounds nuts, you know. It just sounds like when Cat Williams got on that podcast and started talking about the Illuminati. It just sounds like out of this world. Not that they probably don't know something. It's just, I don't know. I think what they did is, in the beginning, it was probably more legitimate. Then he cleaned up his act, went into fight camp, and then like started training for the fight. Continued the shenanigans to help sell the fight, and then afterwards used his win as a chance to clean up his public image. You know, because there were genuine interviews that he did that he just seemed off. You know, his mannerisms, his voice, his way of speaking was off.
I feel like he's probably doing the same thing that Connor's doing, because Connor has been a completely different person.
Connor is fucked up right now, and it's hard for me to get excited for his upcoming fight.
Michael Chandler?
Yeah, I can't really get excited for it because I look at him now and I'm just like, oh God, what the fuck happened to Connor?
Yeah, whatever they're taking, I think it's probably too much. What are they called?
With Connor, I know he's taking PEDs because he had to take them after he broke his leg, right? But ever since the Floyd fight, he's been kind of going downhill.
They fought?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather and Connor.
Really?
Yeah, in boxing.
Really?
You didn't know about this?
I didn't know that. It
was like 2018.
I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fought. Connor lost.
Knockout?
No, not knockout. Oh. It was decision. But ever since that point, he started to go downhill. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When he challenged, help me out here.
Oh, Khabib?
Yeah, when he challenged Khabib, that was an interesting fight. And he really sold it. But at the same time, I could already tell like he wasn't really in it anymore. He was too addicted to the money. He didn't care about the sport of it. Right.
Well, I thought he never did. I thought it was always just like the backdrop of it.
I think it was a means to like escape his poverty-stricken life, but for a while it really did feel like he was in it and he cared about it, you know? Like when he was first coming up and when he was first entering the UFC, like his fights were exciting. And he was exciting, but then he started to make all this money and then he just stopped caring about it the way like everybody else does. And now more than ever, I feel like he's just trying to jump back into it because he doesn't know what else to do. Like all these other avenues he thought were going to work out aren't working out. And I just can't get excited for this old PED Connor fighting an old Michael Chandler.
I think that's how the same feeling you have with them two is the same feeling I have for Mike.
Mike's different though. Mike's different, Eddie. You haven't seen it, man. I would go through and show you all of Mike Tyson's fights, but I already know you don't care.
I don't care. It's just
he used to knock people out in the first round, like consistently. There was a thing back then where people would say like you can't leave the room once a Mike Tyson start fights because thousands of people would get up, go grab a beer, come back, and then the fight would be over. And they missed it. They just paid $60 on the pay-per-view for nothing. They missed it and they had to watch the highlight reels afterwards.
I don't know. I think something about boxing doesn't get me excited. Same thing with, well, no, the UFC does get me excited. But like just boxing in specific doesn't get me excited.
How come?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
but I think it's because that boxing is so rigged. Like the only way you could actually win a fight is if you knock him out.
It can be rigged. Like during the Ryan Garcia fight, there was this judge who scored the fight evenly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was pissed off about that. Me and my dad and my brother watched it live, and my dad was pissed off about that. And he was yelling at the ref the whole fucking fight because the ref was kind of like intervening when he didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like he was trying to protect Devin Haney.
Yeah.
And like everybody was calling him out on that. But the fight itself was really good. And I was really, really excited over it. And it was weird because I wanted both of them to win. Like I felt like Devin was probably going to win, but I also knew that there's a good chance Ryan would knock him out. And so like I was conflicted the whole time. So I was just watching it. But as soon as I saw Ryan knock him down the first time, I was on Ryan's camp the whole way. I was like, Ryan's going to take this.
I think another thing with boxing is that they box for 40 minutes, but for those 40 minutes, there could be one knockdown, and the rest of it they're just running around the ring. That's why I like WWE more than boxing, and that's why I like the UFC more than boxing. Even
with the UFC, there's fights where they'll just like pace around each other, and then there's fights where they're on the ground the whole time, and people don't really like want to see that. They want to see the Connors.
I rather see when they're on the ground than them just running around the ring, because I know if they're on the ground, they're trying to get them. It's a technical fight right there.
Yeah, but like watching is different, you know. Like when Duplessis and
Oliveira?
Sean Strickland fought in, what was it, February?
Mm-hmm.
I watched that one live too with my family, and they were complaining the whole time because a lot of it, like they were slugging it out, but then a lot of it was they were like walking back and forth, like pacing around each other or whatever because they were getting tired. And people, like when it comes to these combat sports, they want the action. You know, they want just them to be slugging the entire time. And so you could kind of find that criticism with, you know, MMA or boxing. Personally, I like both, and I'll watch both as long as the fighters are entertaining and there's, you know, something to be excited for. You know, like with boxing right now, I think it's starting to get a second wind. There's more interest in it than ever before, and the fighters kind of feel that pressure, and there's all these big money fights happening and all of these fighters getting tested, and there's a lot going on. With MMA, I kind of feel like it's dying down temporarily, but I could see it spiking in the near future. I know people really like, you know, Sean O'Malley and Sean Strickland, Adesanya, and all these guys, but like overall, I don't think it is where it was like 6 years ago.
Oh, no, even 10 years ago. But I still think out of like professional wrestling, UFC, and boxing's still number 3. UFC is number 1, and then professional wrestling is number 2.
I think UFC has the ability to draw more people. Boxing is definitely in last place right now, but I could see the resurgence coming. Because
they just had UFC 300. That was their biggest UFC pay-per-view of all time. And it was a great pay-per-view. That's what people were saying.
Just because of the little clause that they did where like the most exciting fight got a big payout.
No, the all-around event was awesome. Especially that one fight with Oliveira and who the fuck was the other guy, where they just went ham for the last 10 seconds. And then the last second Oliveira got him.
Yeah, they always get these good moments with UFC, I can't lie. But overall, that event kind of just felt lackluster, at least the build-up towards it did. There were some fights that I was interested to see, but I didn't end up buying it or watching it. I watched all the highlights after the fact, but I wasn't interested enough to like watch it. Versus with boxing, I feel like even if you remove Jake Paul out of the situation, which you got to admit, he's been bringing a lot of attention back into boxing. But if you remove him out of it, the boxing world itself has been picking up steam over the last few years with names like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney and all these other guys.
Well, me as a casual, I can't name you 5 boxers, and I'm not counting Jake Paul as a boxer.
Like of all time, or
no,
like
of all
currently?
time I can, but currently.
Yeah, well,
that's what I mean. That right, You could say that a second wave's coming, but when's the second wave gonna hit? It could be 5 years from now.
I could see the buildup of it. I can see more people getting interested in it.
I know that there's an important boxing match or an important UFC event coming when all the Mexicans are buying a lot of beer.
That's just whenever Canelo has a fight.
No. When there was a recent boxing match. I forgot who it was. Everybody was excited for it, and I think it was a Mexican. I don't know who it was. It wasn't Canelo, and I'm like, oh, it's there must be a boxing match, and sure enough, there was.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was Cruz or it might have been Cruz. There's this boxer. What the fuck's his first name? Isaiah Cruz. He's a Mexican boxer, and a lot of people compare him. His nickname's the Pitbull, and a lot of people compare him to a modern day Mike Tyson because they use the exact same boxing style.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the shortest boxer in the league right now, and I think he's the shortest champion of all time
like
in
the
his
height?
division. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's 5'3.5".
Oh shit, he is fucking short.
And he's the current champion of the lightweight
Featherweight?
division. No, I think it's lightweight. I have to double check, but he's the current champion of whatever division he's in, right? He just had a recent fight
Win.
where he became the champion.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching some of his highlights. I just got put onto him a few weeks ago, and he's a really interesting fighter. Like he definitely reminds me of prime Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson was like 5'8", 5'9", fighting these giants in the heavyweight division, and he's doing the exact same thing in his division. And because they share the same style, you know, people are putting all these videos back to back of them where they're like basically using the same moves, and they're like both doing the peekaboo style, and then they're coming up and knocking people out. He has a really high knockout ratio right now too. He even fought Tank Davis in a last minute match, and then went all 12 rounds with him and didn't get knocked out by him, and almost knocked him out. And Tank Davis is known as like a knockout master. He's got a 93% knockout ratio right now.
Jesus fuck.
He's undefeated. And he lost to him, but at the time he had only had like 12 fights under his belt. He was this up-and-comer who agreed to take the fight, and he almost beat the champion at that point. Almost knocked him out and didn't get knocked out. He's a very interesting guy. I've been kind of catching up with him recently, but I think it might have been him because he's building up a lot of hype right now as like a little Mexican Mike Tyson. Even though he looks more Asian, but he's pretty cool.
What time are we at?
48 minutes. You want to do a quick ad break?
Yeah, because my ass is hurting, dude.
Okay. We'll be right back after these messages. This episode is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that allows you to find and speak with a therapist in a way that fits you and your needs. Whether you have some things that you feel are holding you back, or you just need somebody to talk to, BetterHelp offers you the support system to approach your struggles however you see fit. They have remote therapy sessions that can be done through call, text, or even video conferences. Plus, BetterHelp works with you to find a therapist that fits you. So, if you're interested in taking the first step towards self-improvement and starting therapy, use code MOONMEN to save yourself 10% off at checkout. That's code MOONMEN to save 10% off at checkout. Thank you again to BetterHelp for supporting the show.
What?
Don't tell me.
Don't tell you what.
Are you going to try one?
No, I'm just holding it.
Oh, it's nice to hold, right?
Well, no, I need something to fiddle with.
Doesn't it feel good in the hands?
Your dick feels good in my hand. What's a 3 for?
It's 3 milligrams.
Oh. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Do you think the ball bouncing is gonna...
No.
No. Oh, you want me to bring it back?
I thought you said you had something. I was like, that's
I
why
thought
I
you
was
were
like
gonna-
waiting.
I thought you were gonna be like, and we're back.
And we're back.
Oh. Oh, we've been back. Whatever. Another reason why I don't like boxing that much is because they're too egotistic and cocky. I understand it, but I don't like those type of people.
That's how they are in wrestling.
No, it's different. They're paid to be like that.
And these people are paid to be like that.
No. It's a character that they're putting on.
And even in boxing, like I doubt most of these people are actually like this much of an asshole in their daily life. Like if they're talking to like their family or their friends, but when they're trying to sell a fight, they're gonna sell the fight. That's one way that like real combat sports and WWE is very similar. Is the fact in how they sell the fights and how they pitch the fights. They have to make it more dramatic than it is. They give it a little bit of a storyline. You know, these guys have to be more egotistical than what they are. They have to be assholes. And then afterwards, you know, after they wear that for a while, they can start to act like that more often. And then they're going to take pride in like their own story and what people have to say about it. But aside from that, like I don't think most of these guys are huge assholes.
No, I don't know. If once they start acting that way, I just turn off I just wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't care. I'm weird like that. I don't know why.
But like that is weird because like that's what wrestling is. That's the whole premise of wrestling.
No,
when they're
but
fighting and when they're talking
wrestling-
shit to each other.
With wrestling, it's different. In boxing, they're like, I'm the fucking best. No, I'm the fucking best. All right, let's have a pissing contest in the boxing ring. While in wrestling, it's more like, they'll say, your time as champion is up. It's my turn, and he's like, nope, you're just another stepping stone I have to get through.
I think it's your perspective on it. You're like looking down on them for wanting to be the best at what they're doing.
No, but to me, nobody is a fucking best. There isn't a go.
But that's literally what it's for. Like when
No.
they're claiming, when they're the champion, they're literally the best in that division.
and for that a period of time.
Yeah, but it's not like
It's-
wrestling where they get to script out how long somebody's going to be in that position. That's
No.
what makes it more interesting.
It's because whenever someone says I am the greatest and they become champion and they lose a championship,
They're no longer the greatest.
No, but they still claim to be the greatest.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to do. That's what happens. They're coping. But I think you're looking at it from a weird perspective. Like, they have pride in what they're doing and they have pride over their work and all of it, everything that they put into
Right.
where they got to. I think it's, commendable. What I don't like is like when they just kind of take the shit talking. Like, I understand if that's part of their personality, they just kind of like, they're chill. They don't feel the need to yell at every press conference or whatever, and then they show you in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're the kind of person that just like doesn't stick up for themselves, like it's kind of hard to be invested in their journey and their fights.
I'm more invested in those people.
The people that just kind of get like stepped on and just don't care
no, like you said, like let's say they shit talk, they get shit talked and they don't care. And then they fucking knock him out in the first round. That's more badass.
Well, yeah, but not all the fighters do that. There's very few fighters that could fit into that. There's a lot of fighters who just don't know how to shit talk and then just don't do it. But like I say, Cruz, the guy I was telling you about,
right.
He's one of those guys that doesn't really need a shit talk, and then he just steps in the ring and does what he does.
See, I'll probably be a fan of his. I'm a fan of Canelo because he doesn't shit talk.
And that's why he's cool. That's a part of the reason why he has the allure to him. And I can respect how he's going about it. What I don't like is like when they don't try to stand up for themselves. Or they just, they feed too much into it. I'm not phrasing this well, but my thing is like, you're in a competitive sport. You're in a sport where you have to be a dominant force. And you have to constantly prove your dominance. And a big part of doing that is, barking the loudest. And it sounds dumb, but that's how it is. That's how fights are. That's how conflict is.
No, actions speak louder than words. Mike Tyson is one of the greatest. Let's say Ryan Garcia, he starts yapping that he's the greatest of all time. But then he gets knocked out. So all he was doing was just barking. He was just a dog barking. But once you open that cage and he walks out, he stops barking.
Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting. Like, if they're gonna bark, they better have bite. If they're gonna talk the talk, they better walk the walk, right? That's what makes it interesting. Because once these people start talking shit, then that's when they're gonna get tested, and then that's when it brings in more interesting fights and more interesting dynamics and conflicts. I understand it, and I understand that it's a part of their industry, and so to me, it's almost normal for them to be like, "Yeah, I'm the greatest." Like, you should be thinking you're the greatest. Kind of like with rap too. Rap has always been a competitive genre, a competitive industry.
Right.
And it's always benefited off of rappers trying to be the best. So if there's a rapper who's like, no, I'm not really the best, it's like, well, I can't believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
Right. But if they're like, I don't know, if whenever they say I am the greatest, then that means they have to go through every single boxer that's ever existed to claim that they're the greatest.
Well, obviously there's no
they
way for
can't.
them to...
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
so...
but if they're saying that their accomplishments can stand the test of time to somebody like Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or insert boxer here,
right?
It's not wrong for them to say that by saying I am the greatest.
Okay.
Like if Canelo were to say I'm the greatest boxer of all time, or even I'm the greatest Mexican boxer of all time,
right?
Like,
but Canelo could say it because he's proven it. He's proven that he's going through all these divisions, and he still hasn't said once that he's the greatest.
But okay, what is your issue really?
I think it's the cockiness. I don't like. I don't. There's two types of people I hate in this world: it's complainers and cocky people.
Cocky people in your day-to-day life, but at the end of the day, these guys are entertainers, just like the WWE people. So even if they are cocky, why does it turn you off?
I don't know. I just said it. I hate two types of people.
But like what? Like you can get by it with WWE, and in your head you tell yourself like it's scripted. They're playing a part. But
yeah,
I don't think most of these boxers are really that evil in their day-to-day life. Some, sure, but I think you're letting it get to you too much.
No, with wrestling it's different because they're getting paid to do like it's like an actor getting a script and they have to say that.
Again, but I understand that, but the way these guys are going about it, it's almost like they're playing with the script. They're feeding into it. They have to be cocky to sell the fight.
Yeah, but at that point, are they doing it for the sport or are they doing it for the money?
Both. You could do it for the sport and the money.
No, it's always one or the other.
It feeds into each other. It's a never-ending cycle. Okay, if they're doing it for the sport, it's okay, but if they're doing it for the money, it's not okay.
No, if they're doing it for the sport, they wouldn't be shit talking. If they're doing it for the money, they'll be shit talking.
They would be shit talking either way.
No, because when Ben Askren and Jake Paul were fighting, Ben Askren never said a fucking lick of to Jake Paul. And Jake
but
Paul,
that's one example.
No, but that was the first example that came to my mind.
But
same thing with Canelo Alvarez. He'll let his other opponent talk, and he'll be like, okay. Like just like your guy, Cruz, he doesn't have to shit talk. He's just there, and the other guy shit talks.
But my thing is sometimes it's just their characteristic, right? Sometimes it's just not within them to shit talk people. But there are a lot of people who feel passionate about, like, let's just say their boxing career, right, everything they've accomplished, and what people perceive capable of them, or what people perceive possible of them. And they'll start to shit talk because they feel pride in what they do and where they think they can go. It doesn't matter if it ends up being bullshit after the fight. If they claim that they're greater than this person, better than this person, then now it's up to them to have to prove it. But I think that saying they're too cocky because they're trying to amp themselves up for this fight. Mm-hmm. One, to defend everything that they've worked for, but two, also to intimidate their opponent, and three, to sell the actual fight. I don't think that's wrong. I think that's part of it.
But I'm telling you, I don't like that. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I just don't like that.
It's just weird to hear you say that you don't like it, considering that it's a big part of that other thing. And I know it's a lot different with WWE, but it's in the same vein. You know, and I guess it's the way they phrase it. I mean, if they were talking shit the way they would in WWE, would it bug you as much? Where they're like, your time on the seat is over and now it's my time, or something like that? The way they would in WWE?
No, because I still wouldn't watch it. I told you I don't like boxing. I gave you 3 reasons why I don't like boxing. And you just gave me you just told me if they spoke that way in boxing, would you still watch it? I'm like, no, because there's still two reasons I don't like it.
Yeah, but you initiated this comeback discussion talking about how cocky they were, so I'm trying to dive into that and figure it out, and I'm asking you questions, and now you're referring back to another part of the conversation. I just think it's weird for you to be like, I hate that they're too cocky. It's like, it's dumb, and it turns me off. It's like, that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be cocky.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Something about boxing I just can't jive with. Just like you with team sports.
I did in the past, I used to watch
but
football.
now you don't watch it because you say it's boring.
I just can't get into it anymore.
No, and now I understand why, because the NBA is unwatchable. Baseball and football, they're still watchable.
I could get into like a baseball, not baseball. I could get into a football game if it's like on, like if I'm at a bar or something, or I'm at somebody's house, I could get into it. I understand enough about the sport to be able to watch and like get into it. I just don't, because it just doesn't interest me as much as like combat sports does.
I think it's because you like prideful people and you like pride, while I like teamwork and not prideness. I don't know.
I think it would just be pride. I mean, maybe, because I know.
Because you're a very prideful person, and I'm a prideful person, but I just don't fucking show it. I don't like showing it. You like the spotlight? I don't really like the spotlight.
It's not that I like the spotlight.
But
I don't mind the spotlight.
Okay.
But you avoid the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with people having pride. It's different if your pride is what guides you through everything.
No, but why is there a saying called pride is the devil?
That's a J. Cole song.
Yeah, but that's an actual saying.
I've never heard that saying.
But yeah, pride is the devil, because pride has gotten people into wars, has gotten people killed, has gotten.
Yeah, that's the point where you should like be checking your pride, right? But I don't think it's necessarily wrong for people to have pride over themselves, their work, their accomplishments, their family, whatever. Insert thing here, right?
No, I know, but why not show it and let people talk about it instead of you being like, "Hey guys, look what I did. Cheer for me."
But that's different. That's not pride. That's something else. Having pride in what you do is like when somebody challenges you or disrespects you or your work or your family. Again, just going on the examples, and then you stand up for yourself or that person or that thing. Having pride is when you look after whatever it is that you have pride over. Trying to be the center of attention is like something different. When you're trying to get people to notice it, that's something different.
What's that called?
I'm trying to think of it right now. I don't.
I think that's
glory.
No. I don't know what it could be called. It could be a pride thing.
It can tie into pride.
It could, like, maybe there's different levels of pride.
I think it could tie into pride, like if you're trying to show something that you did, something that you accomplished, and then you feel like people aren't acknowledging you, and so you try harder to get people to acknowledge it. I think it could play into that, right? But I'm pretty sure that's its own specific thing. My thing is, like, I think everyone should have a little bit of pride over themselves and what they do in their life, yada, yada, yada. And I think they should stick up for it, Like, if you know you're a good worker, you got a good work ethic, and you do a lot at your job, or you've done a lot of work even independently, and people don't acknowledge it or they disrespect it, you should have pride in your work and stand up for yourself. Or you should have pride in your person if you feel like you're being disrespected. No,
but if that's the case, wouldn't you be like, I'm bigger than this. I'm not gonna fucking let that little boy get into my head. Like, let's say you release a book, right? And I tell you, we're strangers, right? And I tell you, Devin, that fucking book fucking sucked. You're not gonna amount to anything. And instead of you being like, all right, bitch, let's fight about it, you're gonna be like, all right, let my work let my fortunes speak for themselves.
I think it's just at the level. It's scenario based, right? Like, because in instances like that, you don't need to prove it to that person.
Okay, what if I tell you, Devin, your mom's a bitch? I'm not saying that, but I'm like, Devin, your mom's a bitch. She's a whatever. Is that pride? What is that?
Well, I guess it just kind of depends on the person with stuff like that. Because personally, there have been instances where something like that has come up in conversation and I've gotten into fights over it.
Right.
But then there have been instances where I just overlooked it because I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to get a rise out of me.
Right.
But I'm not going to fault somebody for, let's say getting into a fight over something like that because they're defending that person's honor. They're taking pride in their relationship with that person.
Yes.
Like I get where you're coming from. A lot of times you just got to learn to be the bigger person and walk away. But at what point do you have to start sticking up for yourself and the people in your life and the things in your life? That's where I think your sense of pride needs to come into play. Like, that's where you have to analyze it. Because, like, at what point do you start drawing the line in the sand? And at what point do you just, like, let people keep walking over it?
I guess.
And it's finding the boundaries within yourself, because, like, there's a lot of people where you can't say anything about their mom because they'll beat the shit out of you. And that's understandable. They drew that line in the sand, But then there's other people that are like, oh, well, you could talk about my mom. I don't care. And it's just a personal preference. But at what point, at that point, who do you respect more looking at them? The person that sticks up for the mom or the person that lets people talk about him because he wants to be a bigger person? Both instances you could say are right. But it's more of where you align personally.
True.
I think that's a great discussion, though. Just trying to figure out what points in your life you need to have pride and what points where you need to have humbleness. And you need to be a humble person. And just let it go.
To me, it's like a 90-10.
To me, it's like 50-50. There's a lot of instances where you're just like, let it go. They don't know shit. Why do you care?
But like the pridefulness. What was it that you just said?
What?
Where you have to be prideful and then you have to be humble.
Yeah.
The 90% of the time you need to be humble. 10% of the time you need to be prideful.
To me,
and the prideness needs to be quiet.
To me, I think it's 50-50. And obviously, yeah, the pride should be quiet. You shouldn't be demonstrating it loud and clear.
Right.
But I think you need to be able to set the boundaries and stick up for yourself when need be, but also learn to just like when to walk away. Yeah,
but I think most scenarios you could just walk away. There is, unless like if a guy starts beating on your mom, then yeah, that's when you have to stand up.
Yeah, but that's an extreme scenario.
Yeah, but if someone is shit talking your mom at fucking Safeway, you can still walk away from it. Because there's no outcome that it turns out good.
No, but I guess, again, that just kind of depends on the person.
Yeah.
And, like, you could draw the line and be like, well, if somebody was yelling at my mom in a Safeway parking lot, like some crackhead was yelling at her.
Right.
We would just walk away. Somebody else could also jump in and be like, well, if it was me, that never would have happened because I would never let anybody disrespect my mom like that. And they never would have let it get to that point because they were more prideful over it. Or they would be like, if I saw anybody yelling at my mom, like, we're fighting. So it's just, I guess, again, it's based off of personal preference, personal taste. Like, okay, here's the classic question every guy's thought about.
Right.
If another guy touches your girlfriend's butt out in public, what do you do?
Oh, that's fucking sexual harassment.
Yeah, but what do you do? As the boyfriend, what do you do?
Hit the guy? I don't assault him.
But that's where the conversation comes into play. Because you could easily just be like, you know what? They're not worth it. They're trying to start something. But then you could also be like, I have to kill him now.
Well, no, that's a different scenario. If someone's catcalling my girlfriend, we'll just walk away.
Yeah, but that's easy. Most people will walk
Yeah,
away from
yeah,
that.
but it's like the same. It's in the same plate as someone hitting your mom. It's the same thing. They assaulted your mom. They assaulted your girlfriend. That was just a pretty. 99% of the people would say they'll punch the guy.
What would you do personally?
I think I'll confront the guy, put my hands on him.
Don't say that. You ruined the intimidation right there. I was like, oh, he's gonna confront him. I'll put my hands on him. It's like you could have said anything. You could have said I beat his ass, I break his teeth, whatever.
No, that's too extreme.
Put my hands on him.
That's too extreme. Breaking someone's teeth just because he slapped your girl's ass. That's extreme.
But I think having pride is important because if most people are too humble, then there's going to be a large majority of people like the guys who are yelling at your mom and touching your girlfriend's ass, who feel like they can get away with it because they know you're not going to do anything. Versus when more people have more pride, it kind of raises the social expectations of people, right? Because if everybody is unanimously in decision that you don't do this and you don't do this because you'll get punched in the face, then it lowers the chances of it happening. Versus if you're like, well, we could just walk away from the scenario, then the chances of it happening are more and more. It's like a never-ending conflict. That's why I think personally it's more of a 50-50 battle. 50% of the time, just learn to walk away. It's not as important as you think it is. 50% of the time, stand up for yourself or the person or your ideals or whatever, and don't get pushed around. Especially if you're being directly confronted, passive aggressively or not. You know?
No, because we're just gonna keep going in a circle because you and I are so different when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna pitch you a question, but I can already hear what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Like I can. Out of all the instances, especially recently, where I've been tested and challenged and I stood up for myself and I pressed the issue, I could see you in every single one of those instances going, well, it's not that big of a deal.
With your work?
Like with work.
Oh, yeah, it could have been fucking avoided. It's just...
But see, like in those instances, they were pressing the issue. And I could have just been like, well, you know, that's not me. I don't need to like go out of my way to stand up for myself. But with that specific scenario, it wasn't just involving me. It was involving a family member of mine. And so then I had to stand up for me and that person.
Well, I could have been avoided since that initial the whole, because how did that transpire? Because I forgot, because you moved a little fucking cardboard.
No, it transpired from 3 separate events that they used as ammunition to attack me and my position at work.
Right. No, but with your position, there's a lot of egos. That's why that one guy told you don't trust anybody, because there's a lot of egos. I'm pretty sure Raul in his industry is just egomaniacs, and he can't trust anybody. You're in that same boat. It's just you guys are sailing to a different destination.
Yeah. And that's why, to me, especially now, as we're having this conversation,
right,
it's 50-50. There are times where I know and I feel I need to stand up for myself, address the issue, have pride in what I'm doing, and know what I'm doing is right. And other times where I feel like I could just let it be.
No, but
as I've been out in the world, as I've been interacting with all walks of life,
right,
and as I've been tested in different ways throughout the last 8-9 months.
To me, you've been more like 40-60.
60 leaning into pride?
Yeah.
I mean, in some instances where I feel like I have to keep more of a barrier up and be more assertive or whatever, but I try to maintain a 50-50.
Because for me, you could argue that for me, it's been 95-5.
For you, like, yeah, 95% of the time, like, you're humble to the point where people could, like, walk over you.
But I haven't seen an example of someone walking over me.
Well, that's the benefit of you staying in all the time, because you don't involve yourself with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
There has been hardly any instances where people have walked over you or used you,
Mm-hmm.
or have hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll never happen,
Oh yeah.
especially with how you are. Naturally, you're just more like, let's just let bygones be bygones, water under the bridge. I mean, that most recent scenario with and
Mm-hmm.
forgot their names. To me, that would have been a scenario where I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I'm cutting these people off.
Mm-hmm.
But you were like, you know what, we could still maintain it.
Yeah, but have you seen me hang out with them?
No, but
The funeral doesn't count. That's different.
I know that. I'm just saying that's a perspective where, like, me personally, I would have taken the initiative to just completely kill the relationship.
Mm.
Whereas you were like, I'll stick around. Maybe we could work it out. Right?
Yeah.
Or like with everything that happened with I was like, this is more than enough reason to stop. To just kill this. And so then I did.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, it's like, I can't see myself going back. That, like, to me, having pride isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can protect you from everlasting pain.
But don't you
or prolonged pain, I should say.
But don't you think it's going to bring a lot more dangers and a lot more pain?
You'll get pain either way. If you're too lenient, people are going to use it as an opportunity to take advantage of you. But if you're too hard, people are going to use it as an opportunity to challenge you. So it's just whatever you'd prefer to deal with. Me, I don't mind getting challenged by life and the people in it. Yeah, it's stressing me out. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But, I mean, if there's a challenge, I'll rise to meet the challenge, as I have my entire life. With you, personally, you like to take the more political approach to things. And that you better navigate that. But I would say with both instances, even if you're trying to be 50-50 on the whole stance, you're still subject to getting hurt or getting used or getting played or whatever. It doesn't end either way.
I think it also depends on if you're an extrovert or introvert.
You can even make the same argument for that, though. Like, if you're putting yourself out there a lot and being an extrovert, there's more likelihood that you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you stay home a lot, there's still a likelihood that you can get hurt. Because people will come to you. And then when they leave, it hurts even more. Because they chose you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you'll get hurt no matter what path you choose in life. It's just the kind of hurt that you want to deal with, I guess.
Mm.
Eddie, how the fuck did we get here based off of boxing?
I know.
You said, I don't like the cockiness, and now we're talking about life lessons. What the fuck?
Hey, to be frank, these type of these type of episodes were gonna come soon. It was eventual. Because think about it. The return was a return. Then we had a conspiracy episode, and then we had a sexual episode. What was left? The life lesson episode.
That's true. And then we even threw sports in there too.
Yeah, and we
really
threw sports.
We got WWE.
The last episode was TV and movies and
yeah. We're just kind of branching out all of our different subjects that we normally do, going more in depth this era.
What time are we at?
Hour 20. So it wasn't that long of a discussion, but I was getting into it.
Yeah, I thought that felt like 2 hours.
I do like exploring those conversations because even if our stances don't change, it helps me gain perspective on it and look at it from a different lens.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the audience listening to this, if they're actually paying attention, are getting that same perspective.
I feel like the audience is going to be lean towards with your ideas and your ideas. I could see
our audience is soft. No offense, guys. I love you guys, but most of you motherfuckers are soft, and I could see you leaning towards Eddie. That's why most of them resonate with you.
No, I see them leaning towards you.
They resonate with you because they see themselves in you.
Or I'm just quote unquote funny.
You're funny, yeah.
And I'm likable, I guess. I don't know.
Well, haven't you ever noticed that like the people you like the most out of the mediums are the people that you either A, want to be like, or B, the ones you see yourself in.
In what?
Like, okay, The Walking Dead,
Right.
right? Who's your favorite character?
Rick.
Do you want to be like him or do you see yourself in him?
I guess I want to be like him.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you could do that with any scenario, right?
With friends, it's different, isn't it?
With friends,
Because when you asked that question, I was thinking more of friends, and real life.
I don't know. I think with friends, I remember hearing some study on this. I forgot exactly what the fuck it was, but I know they said something along the lines of like, you choose people that you see traits that you want to have in your life. Like you think this person is adventurous, and so you want to be more adventurous and you incorporate them. Or you think this person is thoughtful, or this person grounds you. Like we kind of look at friends as like tools,
Mm-hmm.
and then we form relationships afterwards,
Mm.
which I can kind of see.
I could see that because my group of friends, they're all adventurous. And then you keep me grounded. And we've had sex.
Dude, what the fuck? I think it's the same for me though. You keep me grounded, and more than that, you keep me in check.
Humble, because I always
Not
belittle
humble.
I always belittle your accomplishments.
Not humble. You do a poor job at being. You can try to be as hurtful as you want to keep me humble, but nobody will ever beat my mom. All my mom needs to do is say one fucking sentence, and it breaks me for the rest of time.
You're not gonna say on the show, so I'm not even gonna ask
What
she says.
So like all she has to do is belittle it, and he doesn't even necessarily need to be bad. But if I say something along the, let's just say I'm like, hey mom, I made a new friend today. And then she goes, oh, that's cool. She just stopped my dreams. There's nothing that you could ever do to beat that. Oh, that's cool.
Well,
Moms have too much power.
Yeah.
She keeps me humble, but she also gasses me up, because if she gives me one compliment, my ego's boosted for the next week. So she's a dangerous woman, because if she's in a bad mood, she can break me down to the point where I'm like, fuck this, Eddie, I'm done with life, I'm moving out of town. And then if she compliments me one too many times, then I'm a fuckboy again, and no girl can ever compete, and there's no good range, you know?
Right.
I think with you though, you really keep me in check, and you constantly like challenge me and my ideas. Like if I start acting a certain way, you challenge me to look at it and like acknowledge what I'm doing. Like you don't ever let me get away with just doing things. There's always got to be thought behind it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I asked if you know what I mean, and you could have been no. You don't have to repeat the question.
No, like I mean, like give me an example.
Okay, let's
not like necessarily a personal example.
No,
but,
we
like,
could go personal. I don't give a shit. I'm tired. I didn't sleep that well last night. My you know what? Throw me a Zen. I'm gonna open my third eye real quick. What the fuck was that?
That was a good throw. That was just a bad catch.
You were you threw it like Kevin would. Shout out Kevin.
You said I threw like a gay guy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Kevin would have thrown it better than that. I could see him being like, ew. Catch Kevin. Fucking Kevin. I love Kevin. He's so fucking funny.
That was the first laugh of the day.
Hey, I don't know if you guys knew. I've never mentioned it on here, but me and Kevin, that one guest we had on a really long time ago.
Boy, you struggling there?
No, you had to align the arrows. Kevin Grijalva, that one guest that we had on a couple episodes, or like in episode 22 or something like that, 21. Yay, Kevin, as we call him sometimes. Me and him did an episode for his show. So if you guys haven't heard that, go check that out. We were talking about toxic relationships. I got really personal on that episode too. I was like, Jesus, I shared too much. Anyways, I'll get personal this episode. I don't give a shit. When I start fucking around in the streets, right, and I start acting like a quote-unquote fuckboy, and I start messing around with 3 or 4 girls at the same time, you'll be the first person to keep me in check. Like, it's a little conflicting too, because there are times where like I can catch you getting excited and then hyping me up, but then you're also the first person to be like, Devin, what are you doing? Like you can't be thinking.
I
like
think
this right now.
the times where I'm hyping you up is when I don't have time, so I'm just trying to get a quick text out.
No, it's not even through text. Like sometimes we'll be on Discord and then like I could and I don't fault you for it because I think it's every guy's fantasy to be able to like juggle girls and like
That's
pull
not-
girls or
that's-
whatever
That's
the
not
fuck.
Michael.
At one point in time, you wanted girls to like you. Let's not deny that.
I still want girls to like me, but I don't want to juggle girls.
But you know what I mean? Like we've all been conditioned growing up to be able to get to a point where we can have women throwing themselves at us and we have our pick of the crop and all this other shit, right?
Right.
And so I can hear the excitement or the interest in your voice when I start telling you stories because like you're almost getting a secondhand taste of it. But then your rationality will kick in and then you're like, Devin, what are you doing? Like you're going to break her heart or she's going to break your heart or you're both going to break each other's hearts and then you're going to get an STD and then you're going to have a kid and then she's going to keep calling you and then she's going to get drunk and call you on Saturdays and then she's going to, you know, like you'll start giving me the fucking the tea, not the tea. You'll start giving me the facts. You'll start sitting me down and like, what are you doing? Think about this. This isn't you. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right. I should be a good guy, blah, 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 blah. And then like 5 months later, I'm doing the same shit. And then you reel me back in. And that's why I say you keep me like grounded. You keep me in check. Because every time I start doing something stupid, whether it be professionally or personally or both, or, you know, I start acting too much a certain way, you always kind of bring me back to center, which I appreciate. Because not a lot of people would want to deal with having to deal with me, but you stuck around. No. That's why I gave you a shout out on the episode that I did with Kevin.
Too bad I didn't listen to it.
I said that when I was with my ex-wife, I lost contact with everybody and I cut everybody off. But the one person that stayed around was Eddie. And there was other people there that I would talk to, you know, throughout the years. But the only one that stuck around and didn't like hold anything against me and didn't give me shit over the whole thing was Eddie.
Wait, so would you consider that being me being not prideful?
What do you mean?
Because you cut everybody off, including me at some point.
Yeah.
And then you apologize and I still let bygones be bygones. Is that a bad thing or is that a good thing?
That because I'm biased I'm gonna say that's a good thing. But the only reason we were able to like get back to the place we were and become even closer than we were was because you didn't have pride. But at the same time, I wouldn't have held it against you if you were like, you know what? No, fuck you. We were friends for years, and then you let some girl come and fucking ruin
but like,
it.
let's say I did that shit to you. Like this, with the situation with your ex-wife never happened. Roles reversed. I cut you off, and then I come back to you and apologize. Would you let bygones be bygones? Or would you be like, no, my pride's too high. If I accept them back, then that's
my ex-wife thing never happened.
Yeah, roles are reversed.
I want to say that I would let bygones be bygones.
Right.
But I don't know if I could 100% say that. Right now, in our reality, in our life, yes. Because you stuck by me, I'll stick by you. We're ride or dies, right?
Right.
But if it was roles reversed and you walked out on me, I could see a possibility where we reconnect, but I could also be like, you know what, nah, fuck that. Eddie chose some girl, you know, and then I just kind of hold it to heart.
Oh, okay.
And so that's an instance where, you know, I can understand people being like, he walked out on me and he left our friendship behind, but I can also understand them being like, you know what, we had a good friendship, let me bring him back in.
Okay.
So now go ahead and compliment me. Tell me how I keep you grounded.
I need a pee. Can we do another ad break?
Man, what the fuck? Yeah, I guess we could do an ad break. Fuck.
I need to think of some stuff.
All right, whatever. Fucking bullshit.
But we're back. You know, I took longer. I didn't even pee. I just flushed the toilet because I needed to think of some stuff for you.
You're a dick. Just went on this whole tangent about how, you keep me grounded. We have a great relationship. And I need to go to the bathroom. Can I go pee-pee? I need to think of some stuff. You fucking dickhead.
But the first thing that came to mind, I actually peed. But the first thing that came to mind was you helped me open my eyes. And then like the whole girl situation. I'm not gonna be that transparent here, but you know what I mean.
I think so. Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, she's into you. She's this, she's that, and you help me open my eyes. But then I'm the one at the steering wheel, so then I decide whether.
You're using too many analogies. You help me open my eyes. You could have just said I'm the one that decides to shut them.
Okay, yeah.
But but I'm the one with the steering wheel, so I decided to put this bitch in reverse and get off the horse. And you'll start fucking mixing up analogies like that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it makes sense. You understand me too?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm trying to say, but the thing I was trying to say is that you look at my situations and you put yourself in my shoes, and you give me advice what I should do. As opposed to other people would be like, oh, just kind of do what you want. Do what you think is right.
I hate when fucking people say that.
I know.
God damn it.
I know.
Like, if you're reaching out and you want advice on a situation because you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. And then they tell you,
follow your heart.
Follow your heart, kid. Or whatever.
It's like, motherfucker, if I knew how to follow my heart, I wouldn't be fucking asking you, dickhead. Thank you, Eddie. Those are kind of words.
Well, I'm not done.
Oh, okay. I figured you were because you don't like opening up.
You make me laugh. You're practically the only person that eggs me to go to the gym. Like, everyone tells me, Eddie, you should go to the gym. You're a little big. Why is that funny?
Because you're a little big. It's the way they say it.
You make me funnier.
You are funny.
No, I'm not. You guys give me too much credit. I'm not funny. It's just because I'm fat. Once I get thin, I'm not gonna be funny anymore, dude.
They can't even see you.
Motherfucker, we have a total fan base of like 70. I know, like 40.
It's higher than that. It's just on this one specific platform we have 70 followers.
Oh, okay.
Follow the show.
Fine. Let's say there's 100, right?
I think it's closer to like 150 to 200 because that's only half of our audience on that platform, and then we got another half. So True.
Okay.
So I think we're at like a follower base of like 200.
Fine. I know like
Cope.
I know like 40% of them.
Yeah.
So they know what I look like.
Yeah.
What was my point?
That they only think you're funny because you're fat.
Yeah. No, I didn't say fat. Just
Yes, you did. I'm only funny because I'm fat. As soon as I get skinny, it's over.
Yeah, I did say that.
I don't think they associate fat with funny.
No, but people used to say fat people are funnier. But I wonder why.
I think it's like a common trope because they have to like deflect from being fat, so they have to like develop a personality and be funny.
That's true, because I don't want to be depressing and fat. That's just boring.
You were a lot more outgoing and like quote unquote funny back in high school, but I think you're funnier now. Like, you were the kind of person to start dancing in the middle of class in high school.
That's true.
You wouldn't do that now, but you will make like a really funny joke about or something.
That's true.
And and that, yeah.
That's true. I was a completely different person in high school, and well, we both were, to an extent.
Yeah.
We have better styles now. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I almost never get to show it because lately now, every time we record, that's what I'm scared of doing video of.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm scared of doing video, because I'm gonna be coming to record after work, and I'm just gonna be wearing my work uniform. So I'm gonna be wearing like all the same clothes.
See, That's why I hate my job because of my uniform.
But at least yours, it's like it's all black, so
Yeah,
you could
but-
just make it like a.
Yeah,
like-
but I get insecure in my uniform.
Why?
I don't like wearing dress shirts because I'm fat. Because you can see my whole body more.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Remember when you asked me why you wear undershirts? That's why I wear undershirts. Because it compacts everything.
And remember why you asked me why I wear those specific type of shirts? You can't see my boner or my crack.
Which shirts? Which ones are you
The
talking-
black ones. The black tees.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's smart because like if you bend over, it's a long shirt.
Yeah, it's a long shirt. You can't see anything. Or like, let's say I'm sitting on one of these chairs, and my shirt goes up a little. You still can't see my crack.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually smart. I never thought about
Yeah.
that.
And then when I get a boner, when I see a girl's butt, can't see it.
Or boobs.
Or boobs, but that's more perverted because I have to be looking down at them. It's more like a glance with the boobs.
With that one instance, that was just kind of like in your face.
Yeah.
It literally was.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But I think personally you're funny. I've always thought you were funny. You've always made me laugh.
Mm.
And in a way that's like different from Rob or Matthew. Because Rob and Matthew are like comedians. They'll do funny things to make you laugh, right? And I appreciate that and I like that. Like I think they're two of the most funniest guys I fucking know. Jose too. You know, I could throw him in there. Even Bork.
I was about to
you
say
and
Bork.
You and Bork are like very similar. Like you guys are just naturally yourselves and then it's funny.
Mm.
Like Rob, Matthew, and Jose, they could turn it off and then they could just be chill. You and Bork, no matter what time of day it is or like how you guys are feeling, you're funny. And it's an energy you kind of want to be around. Like I'll talk to Bork.
Fucking hell, I need to turn that off then.
I'll talk to Bork at like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll just be talking about video games and then he'll say some stupid shit that just sticks with me for years.
Let me guess, he told you he wants to go chase tornadoes with you, huh?
No.
Because I've been wanting to do that with you.
No,
We're
really.
stupid enough to go chase a fucking tornado.
I'd be down. I would be down.
And then we
It
go.
would be scary as shit. I'd be playing chicken the whole time. Like we'd get, you know, like half a mile away. I'm like, Eddie, I don't want to get closer. I'm good. Let's go back. I'm fine. I don't give a shit. Devin, we're right. Nope. The car's moving. Nope. I don't trust it. I'd be down, but I'd be fucking chicken. Like when me and Bork were talking last night, like I'll say stupid shit too, and then Bork will react. And then like he'll hit me with lines that I just think of where he's like, that is the wildest shit I've heard all day. And I'm like, all day? Like what'd you hear today? What'd you hear all week? How come it's not all week? You know, like he's hyper specific like that. And it's funny to me. But Rob will crack a joke that I'll never forget. Like when he answers the phone and calls somebody important to me a hoe because he didn't know who was on the phone.
What?
Yeah, there's an instance where my mom called me and he snatched the phone before I could answer it. He clicked answer and he's all, "What up, hoe?" And I was like,
oh, Lord.
I don't know if it was hoe or bitch, but it was one of the two. And ever since that day, she's hated him.
Jeez.
And he never got an opportunity to make it up to her because he's never met her. Every time he went to my house, like nobody was there.
That's funny.
Yeah. So like shit like that will happen with Rob. But then like Bork will hit me with like a stupid specific, or Bork will do something like chase pigeons at school. And then I won't forget.
Or can't spell hippo.
Or
Hippo spell with the Y. What the fuck?
no, he goes, hippo spelled with the I. I thought it was a Y. What
Oh.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, I wish I could play it, but he's using so many foul words that I just have to beep it. And then you do the same shit where it's like
The chairs.
the chairs. You're just naturally funny. And like I respond to your type of comedy. Like you said, a lot of people look at you like you're crazy, but I just happen to see the shit that you do and I'm like, this motherfucker's funny. Like why would he care about that? It's chairs. And you're over here mid-rant like, look at this. Look at all the fucking chairs. There's fucking chairs everywhere. Nobody knows how to push in their chairs anymore. Or you'll be like, look at this chicken. Look at this. What's up with this chicken? And then you'll just start complaining. I think it's funny. So you are funny, at least to me. But comedy's subjective.
Well, I was trying to transition to the next topic.
Oh, my bad.
Do you think that there's actual stereotypes in high school? Like
Yes.
jocks, goths, preppy, theater kids,
Yes.
weirdos. Yeah, you do?
Why? Is there a follow-up question, or is that the...
Well, yeah, sort of, because I was watching South Park, and they had an episode where a lot of people were turning goth, and then all the jocks were turning goth.
I know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that sparked the question. I'm like, did movies over-exaggerate the cliques in high school, or was it actually like that?
I think they did over-exaggerate it, but all stereotypes are born from a seed of truth, right?
That was a hard line.
It's Mr. K's line.
Oh.
But all stereotypes are born from a seed of truth, right?
Right.
So you don't get an image of something being a stereotype unless you see it often enough. And I think a lot of people saw all of these specific cliques popping up in all these different schools enough to where they were able to make a stereotype out of it.
Excuse me.
Because I can think of a few people that fit into the classic, like, dumb cheerleader, jock, smart kid, weird kid,
Theater
like,
kid
in our school. But then I can also think of people who are like in between, or who are their own little stereotype that no one's explored yet. Like, there's all these different versions, but I definitely think there's stereotypes. My question is, what stereotype do you think you were in high school?
I think I was the lovable big guy that he gets along with everybody, like Owen from Total Drama Island.
Yeah, I think that was you. I think because nobody ever had anything bad to say about you, and everyone liked you. You know, that's why you got more likes than me on Instagram.
And because I have more followers.
Yeah. But in high school, like, I think we had similar follower accounts,
Right.
and you were always getting more likes. And I'm all, Eddie, what the fuck?
Mm.
But it's always been like that. I've always been more of like, you either like me or you hate me.
Mm.
You know, I don't get along with everyone. A lot of people just don't like me.
Right.
More people like you because you're more, I guess, agreeable. You're more lovable in a sense. If I had to answer the question, I don't think I fit in a specific stereotype.
I think you did.
Which stereotype?
The nerds.
Not really, because I was nerdy in high school, but I wasn't really like nerd. You know what I mean?
Well, the gaming nerd. Well, yeah, you were a nerd actually.
I'm still a nerd.
No, but you don't show it. Because nerds don't work out. The whole stereotype is that nerds don't work out.
Yeah, but in high school, I mean, at least in the beginning, I was on the wrestling team, and I was always in sports.
Yeah,
and
but
I worked out in high school.
I'm not counting freshman year.
That's part of high school.
Whatever. But you could be classified as a nerd. Because you like all the nerd things. Games, comic books, anime, mangas.
I think there's a stereotype that doesn't get explored enough that I fit into in high school.
What is it?
I would call it like the chameleon, where it's like you don't specifically align with one specific stereotype, so you kind of just like everything and then you switch depending on who you're around. Because you would tell me all the time, like, I hate when this person comes and this person starts talking to you because then you start acting like them. You know? It's like I could be nerdy with the nerds, or I could...
That's one thing that always bugged me about you in high school.
Or I could be jockey with the jocks, or I could be douchey with the douches. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't... But I guess if I had to just go based off of one, it was probably nerd. Like, if people saw me at first sight, they're like, nerd.
Yeah.
If people saw this person at first sight, it's like, oh, preppy. Or
like, if you saw Jose, he's a... jock?
Probably jock.
Not really, because he didn't play sports. Oh, wait, he played baseball, I think.
Jose, did you play baseball?
I think he did.
Snap me.
Baseball and wrestling, I think.
He wasn't in wrestling.
Rob, I didn't really know Robin. I knew Rob in high school, but I didn't know him like that.
Rob, I would have classified as like...
A jock?
No, not jock. Fucking class clown.
Oh, okay. Kyle?
Probably emo nerd.
Emo nerd. Alfred, I don't know what, the quiet kid?
Alfred was either the quiet kid or also lumped in with like the nerds.
Oh, okay.
No offense, Alfred. I mean, I know you're a playboy now, but like high school.
Yeah, we're talking about high school here.
High school. Raul, I would probably throw in with like the popular kids.
Yeah. Angel, popular.
Angel, yeah, that Angel was like the dream guy. That
Yeah.
like he was the guy they would have made a movie out of because his life was just like perfect,
Yeah.
and then it would have got interrupted midway through, and then he would have met the alternative quiet girl and fell
Yeah.
in love with her or whatever. Which I guess kind of happened, but Karen was also part of the popular clique, right?
Yeah, to an extent. Everyone knew who Karen and Angel were.
Yeah. And then I guess, okay, what about Matt? Because we didn't go to high school with him.
No, I went to elementary school with him, but it doesn't
And
count.
middle school, right? Didn't he go to the same middle school as us?
Just 1 year. I think 6th grade.
Sorry, Matt. I don't know what I would put you in.
Yeah, Matt's military guy.
There were, yeah, I guess military guys.
The
kind of a
ROTC
stereotype.
guys.
ROTC kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you're an ROTC kid. Juan, I think is pretty obvious. He would have been lumped in with the emos,
Yeah.
but that's where Juan belongs.
Yeah.
I love you, Juan. Who else did we
Did you
have
hear
on?
that?
Yeah, I heard it. Just didn't know.
Caca. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, I just heard a kid screaming. I didn't hear the caca.
No, but it sounded like a caca.
Anais, I probably would have thrown in with like the preppy kids,
Yeah.
which she would have hated, but she definitely fit into like preppy.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do we have on? Kevin, just the gay popular kid.
No, I think Kevin was What's theater? He was more theater.
He was a little theater. Nah, but because
He did like photography and stuff like that.
that's not really theater. I guess artsy, because you
I
always
guess,
have the
yeah.
artsy people too.
Yeah, the artsy. And then that one kid who dressed like Luffy.
Yeah. I always wanted to walk up to him and say something that he would like recognize, but I was like, I like One Piece, but this kid's taking it to an extreme.
Why do those kids always run to the cafeteria? Like, why do I don't want to call them weird, but in this scenario, in this instance, we'll just call them weird. Why do the weird kids always have to run to the cafeteria? And always have to run the same? Like, they all agreed that they had to run the specific way to the. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Now that I think, like, I really, because they all do that. Yeah.
All like the quote unquote weird kids that were like really hyperactive and like into the same kind of shit. We're all like run to the cafeteria and like.
And then they're it's funny because their backpacks will bounce the same. They'll bend their knees and arch their back like that and run.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's ADHD.
Maybe. Are we making fun of those people? No, we're not.
No.
We're just asking why.
Yeah, we all know somebody like that, like the weird kid who's like a little too like overbearing, probably doesn't have a lot of friends, and then, like would run to the cafeteria, and then like they always ate food weird, you know. They're like, there's always something with them, you know, kind of kids that would stick noodles in their like pockets or something, and then have it on hand. I don't know.
Well, Bork was, instead of noodles, Bork would have oranges in his pockets.
Bork would have oranges? And
no, Alfred would have oranges.
No, Bork had oranges too, and then he always had those fucking brownies.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta get an episode with Bork and Alfred, which is gonna be hard since they're both out of state.
Yeah.
But I would love to get them in the same room together, and then just the four of us talk.
Yeah.
Maybe Bork, Alfred, and Mike. That would be cool. Mike would just fit
I
in
forgot
with
about
Jock.
Mike. Yeah, Mike was like a popular kid.
Popular kid / jock. Because I remember him being...
He was like one of the baseball players.
Yeah, he's a baseball player. And it was funny, you know, because in freshman year, I was like looking at a lot of the people I would become friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I almost looked at it from like the new kid at school perspective, right? Because I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends in freshman year. Like all the people that I got close to in middle school didn't end up going to the same high school as me. So I would just like look around at all these people and I didn't know anybody. And then all the people I were friends with went and had new friends. And I was like, I remember looking at people like Mike and Raul and like people I would become friends with. And I was just like,
you know, now that you bring it up, I don't know who I hung out with in freshman year. Because I only remember our core group, and that was starting like junior year. Because freshman year, who the hell did I?
In freshman year, I hung out with Mario, who I would consider like class clown because everyone thought he was the funniest guy ever.
Right.
And then after he left, I kind of like was lost, and then I found, like Destiny, and I would hang out with her until I met you. And I also hung out with Rob, like in between those people, but I don't know. I don't remember who you hung out with. I think it was like Alfred.
I think it was Alfred. I think it was Alfred, Baco, Eddie. I think that's it. Like I don't know why that is. I can't remember.
Maybe you decided to block it out.
Maybe, and I didn't subconsciously.
But like, it was weird because at that time when I wasn't, right after Mario left and I didn't really have anyone to hang out with, I would look at all these kids at like school. And I think I told this story, like how I would go to lunch.
And how you'll eat in the bathroom stall by yourself.
And how I would like, I didn't have any place to sit. Like I knew some kids, but I didn't have any tables to sit at. And so I wouldn't eat lunch at school. But like, I would see a lot of the kids that I would become friends with later on, and I would look at them almost like they were the popular kids. And I was just like, damn, I was like, that's Mike, or that's so-and-so, and that's so-and-so. And I'm like,
they'll never be friends with me.
Yeah,
I'm just
kind
a
of.
weird kid.
Like, it's weird to say out loud, but I think at the time I was really like, yeah, they wouldn't be friends with me. Like, why would they want to be friends with me? You know?
I'm kind of like that now, in a sense.
Like, you'll see people and you're like, why are they friends with me?
No. Well, yeah, now with my current friend group. Because all of them are fucking outgoing, and then they just have, I'm just there.
I think...
I'm like their version of Devin.
Why? How?
I was trying to insult you.
I think every outgoing person needs a quiet person in their life. Like, introverts and extroverts always become friends. You know?
Yeah.
The yin and yang, the opposites attract.
Too bad it's not like that with couples.
What, like introverts and extroverts?
Yeah.
It is. It's a common thing. Like, there are a lot of people that don't fit in that, but I think for the most part, introverts and extroverts get attracted to each other because of the qualities the other person has. You know? Most of the girls that I've ever been involved with, dated or talked to or whatever, have all been introverts except one.
That's true.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Are you
Almost
sure
every
it's not
single
gonna
one of
pick
them. No, it's not going to pick up. It's not registering right now.
Oh.
Every single one of them was an introvert except one.
Mm.
And the one that was an extrovert, we got along great. But like I had told you previously, we always kind of fought for the spotlight because we were both used to being in it. You know, it's not like we were intentionally trying to fight for it, but like, if I was getting too much attention, then she would do something to get attention. If she was doing something that got more people's attention, then I would do it. You know, like we were always fighting to be in it.
Right.
So I think it just works out if they're opposites, because then they pair together nicely. Think about it like this: all the girls that you've been attracted to and that like gone somewhere
They're
with,
all extroverts.
all extroverts.
Yeah.
Especially like the current one.
Oh. Well, no, she claims she's more of an introvert.
Everybody's got both. I hate when people say that, but if you're looking at it on paper, you're probably more one way or the other.
Yeah.
And to me, she seems like an extrovert.
Yeah, and I've told her that.
Like, if they ever say, like... Well, I probably shouldn't say that because a lot of people will say that, but in my experience, a lot of times you could tell they're introverts based off of what they say. If they say shit like, oh, I'm really shy, you know, introvert. That kind of just screams introvert to me. Or like, you're riskier, you're outgoing or whatever, introvert.
No.
But I've also seen some extroverts be like, I'm shy. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I've seen you. You're not shy.
No, I don't, because I don't say that. I don't say I'm shy.
That's more of like a girl thing, I think. Because I've only ever seen it when...
With chicks?
with chicks, like when I'm talking to them, I can always kind of tell before we even start talking that they're introverts. But then, like, I'll start talking to them, and then they always hit me with the I'm shy. Like, I already expect that at this point because I only really talk to introverts. But that's just my thing. That's something that I've noticed. I think it works out better, though, introverts and extroverts. You get the person that forces you to be outgoing, and then you get the person
Yeah.
that's like helps ground you and mellows you out a little bit.
Yeah, and we kind of need each other.
Yeah.
Because if my extrovert friends never push me to get on that slingshot, then I would never.
I can't believe you got on that. I would never get on that.
Did I show you the video, right?
No, you got a video of it?
Yeah. Want me to put it up there?
Yeah. Or don't you gotta turn on the TV first?
That's why I grabbed the remote there.
I think though, introverts and extroverts can be friends with each other. Like extroverts and extroverts can be friends, and introverts can be friends because then they bring out qualities that they want in each other. But like relationships, I think 90% of the time works better if they're opposite. Cause like Kyle was an extrovert, is an extrovert, and me and him were always like in keeping our energy levels high. You know, Bork is kind of an extrovert, and we're like the same story.
Can you see that? I wonder if you're going to be able to see how dramatic it is.
Yeah, I can see it.
Shit. I'm the one on the right.
Who's that next to you?
One of my friends. He's the one who pushed me to get on.
That was you, right?
No. That one's me. We flipped like 4 times. Right there is when I opened my eyes. And I kept my eyes open. The initial launch, I had my eyes closed.
I do that. I've got on like maybe 40 coasters. Alright, you can pause it.
Okay.
Video's loud. I always do that. Whenever I get on roller coasters, I always have my eyes closed. Like,
yeah,
when you start.
At least the initial like launch, right?
There have been a few where like I kept my eyes open, but there are some that like I had to close them beforehand because I already knew it was gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Like the Goliath at Six Flags.
Nah, I've never been there.
I think it's the Goliath. It's the big orange one. Or the Colossus. I forgot the name of it. That was probably the most terrifying roller coaster I've ever been on in my life.
I think this is the worst one that I've been on.
Fuck that.
The
Never.
sign said that you go 200 feet in the air at 60 miles per hour.
Never.
But since we were both kind of heavy, it probably wasn't 60 miles per hour. It was probably like 40.
Never.
But come on, Devin.
Never.
I'll do it with you.
No.
We just won't hold hands because I'm gonna be like gripping the bars closing my eyes.
No. There's a lot of shit I would do, but that one, and then the 6ix9ine.
Oh, the one where it's like really tall,
and then you like hang on in the middle of the air.
Yeah, and then you wait for people to get on.
Yeah. Never.
I wouldn't do that one either.
Never. I hate that one, and I hate the slingshot. I will never do those. I don't care who asks me. I don't care who. You could pay me. I still wouldn't do it. Never. I've never got on them. I never will get on them. Fuck that.
You know what's funny? I pick and choose my battles. I got on the slingshot, but I couldn't get on the G-force.
The G-force is nothing.
I don't like being upside down, that's why.
I guess, yeah, okay.
And that kind of does put you upside down. Not really.
It just kind of like spins upside down barely, and then that one's fun. I like getting on that one.
Yeah, it looks fun, but I can't go upside down. It freaks me out.
Oh no, fuck it. Fuck the 6ix9ine or whatever the fuck it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's got a different name. The G6? I think it's G6.
No, I don't know.
I never do that.
I just know that I think we're talking about the same one. It's tall as fuck.
Yeah, and then you have to wait for people to get on at the bottom.
Yeah.
There's a few people I would get on there with. And the first one that came to mind is Angel. Because me and him both share the same fear of heights. I'm getting sweaty hands thinking about this.
Motherfucker flies 10,000 feet in the air.
That's different. I can fly, but if you're sitting up there like fucking 100 feet in the air, 2 stories high, whatever the fuck, just looking down, nothing's supporting you, your feet are dangling, it's cold, your hands are, feel my hands are sweaty.
Oh yeah, they are sweaty. That's gross.
You're sitting up there. You're sitting up there, just staring at the ground. Fuck no, nope, won't do it.
Not gonna lie, looking back at that video, it kind of gave me PTSD.
Like
I felt like my chest like convulsed. I don't know if
like the Goliath, the Colossus, whatever it's called at Six Flags. Part of the reason why it was one of the scariest roller coasters I had ever gotten on was because the launch pad was like 60 feet in the air.
Ooh.
So you're waiting in line, and when you're waiting in line for one of these coasters, you can hear it roaring by you. So it's all roaring by you. People are screaming, and the ground is shaking, and you're just having to like be calm. And I was calm. I was ready. I was scared, but I was ready up until we got to the stairs. I saw the stairs and I started walking away. And then my dad pulled me back and he said, "We're going up there." And the whole time he was holding like my shoulders and he was pushing me up the stairs. And I was getting anxiety attacks because when I start walking upstairs or I get too high, you know how I am. You saw me. I get scared. I get freaked out. And we got up to the top and I was just staring at the floor the whole time. Everyone's like bumping me and I'm all scared. I get in the coaster. I strap in. I close my eyes. And then the fucking thing starts going up more and it goes higher. It went like 50 feet in the air from where we were. And then it's doing the whole and then it stops, and we were in like the second or third seat from the front. So I peeked open my eyes and I saw the whole park and I was like, fuck that. And I just, then the butterflies started coming up and I'm squeezing the bars and then you start falling and then your stomach flies into your chest and I was screaming and I almost passed out because you drop on that coaster for about 6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot.
It is a lot.
But
that's a
ready, watch. We'll pause for 6 seconds. That amount of time,
that
falling, and my stomach flew up to my chest. I remember like screaming towards the bottom because it wasn't ending, and then boom, you hit the floor and start going fucking 100 miles per hour through the whole coast. Oh no. Fucking hate heights. I'll never do the fucking G-force or whatever the fuck it's called.
I've been like, what's the word? Not really stumped, conflicted. I've been really conflicted as of late. Like, let's say I have kids and they're not pussies like me. I'm gonna have to get on with them, and if they want to get on that ride that we're talking about. I don't know if I think
I'll tell them if like my kids want to get on that, it's still around for some fucking reason. 15 years from now, they want to get on that. I'll be like, go ahead.
Like with your dad bringing you back.
Well, my dad loves coasters, and so like we were in line for like 20 minutes, and I was literally trying to walk away, and he pulled me back. He's like, "Nah, you're staying," and I've done that. Like the water park here, not fantastic. What the breakers? Yeah. You know how there's that one slide that you climb the top of and then like you slide down?
But it's not that one's not that bad.
I don't care. 11-year-old Devin walked down. Everybody was laughing at me. You think I gave a shit? No. I walked over to the pool and sat down in the water. I might have cried a little bit, but fuck that. I wasn't walking up that fucking platform. Fuck that.
I remember when the first time, I think it's my only time going to breakers, I went up that slide and I got stuck mid-slide.
Like on the way down?
Yeah.
How? The water wasn't going or?
No, the tubes. What's that called?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the donut thing.
Yeah.
If I was going so fast that I flipped.
Wait, are we talking about the same one?
Are we?
The one I'm talking about is where you have to like lay down and cross your hands.
Oh no.
And then you're side by side with another person.
Oh,
and it's like this big wooden structure.
Oh no.
And I remember because I was like standing there. I was standing there with my friend Luke, the one that kissed Anais, and I was like, "Luke, fuck this. I'm not doing this." And he's all, "Stop being a bitch." And I was like, "I'll be a bitch all I want. I don't give a shit." I was like, "This thing's shaking. There's too many kids here. There's water all over the place. I don't trust it. I'm leaving." And then he made fun of me and everyone else started making fun of me.
No, then we're talking about a different one.
Are you talking about the big one with all the tubes that are like all the water slides that are connected?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that one too. I have an irrational fear of water slides because you're in an enclosed space.
Yeah, dude, I was freaking out.
Flying.
And you know what? So when I was in the thing, I was going fast. I flipped over in that donut, whatever thing, and the donut kept going, and it left me there. And I don't know what the lifeguard was thinking, but he decided to send the guy next to me, but the guy behind me, and there he comes. I had, you know that scene from Incredibles, where Miss Incredible was like she was in that circle hallway.
Yeah.
And then there's a car coming, and then she had to expand into the wall.
Yeah.
That's what I had to do to.
You pushed up against the wall.
Yeah.
And you saw, huh?
Yeah. So I had to climb down to the slide.
That happened to me before. I went on one of those where I didn't have a tube, right? But I was still going down really fast, and then like midway through, I hit a turn and I got stuck, and that is the freakiest fucking feeling because like you're just in
you
this
can't
weird
breathe
space.
In there.
Can't breathe. It's like hot and cold at the same time.
Yeah.
You feel like you're not even part of reality anymore, and then you're like, I don't like it. I don't like water slides. They freak me out. I don't like water parks really because I'm not a good swimmer. I don't really know how to swim that well. I can save myself if I need to, but water scares me. Water parks scare me. Water slides scare me. Fuck that. Fuck all of this, man. My hands are still sweaty. My feet are shaking. Why are we talking about this? Roller coasters, sure. As long as it's not the Colossus or whatever the fuck. You know, rides, fine. As long as it's not the fucking slingshot or the stupid ass. Eddie,
for me, it's as long as I'm not upside down and I'm not that high in the air. One ride that used to freak me out a little bit was the swings.
Why?
Because I was too afraid that.
Oh, the swings.
Yeah.
The carousel swings. Where you're flying in the air?
Yeah.
Fuck those. When we went on it together, I was scared. And then you were leaning into me the whole time, which actually kind of made me like feel better because I was like, okay, I got like something here supporting me. But then like our body mass combined was making our seat turn. I was like, Eddie, it's turning. Eddie. And you were laughing. I was like, Eddie, look it, we're turning. This shouldn't be happening. We're turning crooked. This is fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that.
I'm scared of crashing into somebody.
Yes. Oh God.
Because you go so fast, and depending if the guy in front of you is light or not, you're gonna pick up more speed than the other guy, and you're gonna crash into him.
Oh God, I'm thinking about it and like seeing like the fuck. I don't like how your feet will dangle in midair. I'm always so scared of losing a shoe. Like I always double knot my shoes before I get on one of those rides because it scares me.
You know what's funny? The guys before us on that slingshot had to take off their shoes.
Why? What were they wearing? Like chanclas?
They were wearing Jordans and Vans, and they had to take off their shoes because they were, I guess, afraid of the same thing.
I don't want to lose my shoe. People just think about the moment. They don't think about what comes after the moment. I'm walking around without a fucking shoe, looking all over the place, hopping around on one fucking foot. Hey, have you guys seen my shoe? You got your socks touching the dirt? Fuck no.
No, I'm afraid of losing my wallet or phone.
Yeah, that too. Fuck, man. Fuck all this. Fuck. That being said, I want to take a vacation sometime soon back to Magic Mountain, Six Flags, and then go on some of the rides.
You know what? Now that I'm more outgoing, I'll be down for that. Because I went on more rides this year than any year I've gone to the fair.
But that's because you were with a bunch of extroverts, so you didn't have a choice.
I did have a choice. But they peer pressure me.
There you go. Because last time when we went with your friend group, there's like 2 extroverts there, but all the rest of them are kind of just like, well, if you don't want to. So like, I can only do so much.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie, come on. No.
With the G-Force, I slipped out right at the end. They had me there. There's a big guy. He's big. He was bear hugging me. And he's like, Eddie, you're getting on this. I'm like, no, I'm not. Watch me. Last second, he let go a slight bit, and I slipped out.
I thought you meant you slipped out of the ride. That's what I was all.
Oh no, I'm confident that won't fall off a ride.
I want to go. I'm planning on going this Friday, but we'll see if that actually works out. Because I kind of don't want to go alone, and I could think of like a few people to invite, but I don't know if I should.
Take your sister.
She just got her wisdom teeth pulled, and she's sick right now.
Oh,
that girl's going through it. And again, there's a couple people I could ask, but like, am I going to? I don't know. I don't want to open that bag of worms. I don't want to open that.
To be
Pandora's
fair,
box.
I only spent $60 at the fair.
I'm not worried about the money. I had a hiccup. I'm not worried about the money so much as I am just I could probably go alone and enjoy it. But it's something like that you want to go with people.
Yeah.
You want to be scared together. I was thinking about taking my brother, but I already know he's not going to want to go.
Yeah. I would have been down.
But you work.
Yeah, I work. My clothes, I think.
So,
because I would have paid our fee to get on that slingshot.
It's either I take the gothic nurse, the 28-year-old, or the...
Just stay home.
The duck.
Just stay home. Who's a duck?
The frog, sorry.
Who's a frog? Oh.
Looks like a frog.
Don't just stay home.
I want to see Sublime. I really want to see Sublime. But I don't know. I might end up staying home. We'll see.
Or just go for the concert.
Yeah, but I'm going to want to get on the rides. I know they have a roller coaster this year, right?
No.
I saw people posting about a roller coaster.
There's a roller coaster, but it's the same roller coaster that's been there the whole time.
What is it?
It's the one next to the G-Force.
I don't know. I might end up going. But I think we should start wrapping this episode.
Where are we at?
2 hours and 16 minutes. I didn't think we were going to have a long one today.
Oh, really? I felt like we were pushing for 3.
No. I didn't think we were going to have a long one, but here we are. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night.
Remember when I told you, Devin, I think we didn't even talk about the TikTok ban.
We didn't talk about the TikTok ban. And I didn't mention the rap beefs. I wanted to talk about that.
Shit. Yeah, whatever.
It's fine. Apparently, Chris Brown is every time we update people on the show that aren't already updated, 6 more things happen.
Yeah.
Kanye's throwing himself in the beef. Drake did his second diss track. Chris Brown and Quavo are going at it. Chris Brown had the hardest diss track of 2024 so far. Kendrick's MIA. J. Cole's in the dirt. Everything's crazy. Life is crazy. Girls are crazy.
It's hot in here.
I got rejected like 2 days ago. Things are weird right now.
Very weird.
Anyways, guests coming soon. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening to this episode. I love all of you guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you were mentioned in this episode, shout out to you. If you weren't, I'm sorry. But there's a few of you listening to this that we're going to be reaching out to shortly. So, keep an eye on your DMs. Until then, I love you guys. Bye.
This concludes the Moon Men podcast. The end.